Hi everyone, welcome back to Aspects from the Inside. You're here with Paul. I make weekly videos sharing the human side of autism, so make sure you hit subscribe to get the latest content. So this week, I wanted to share a story with you that really highlights the kindness and sensitivity of the autistic community, because we can be really nice to each other, really welcoming of other people who we really see as I can see why you're struggling. I can see why you want to be here and how you would like to connect, and I want to make this experience as positive as I can for you. And that often leads to such an incredibly inclusive space because we're constantly reaching out to each other because we can kind of understand in that sense. So essentially, I recently hosted a community social event online with the Autism Explained community. And I witnessed a really beautiful interaction that really highlights the kindness and sensitivity of the autistic community that I was talking about. So essentially, we're sitting at a table, a virtual table. There might be maybe four of us, just slowly getting to know each other. We've just met. Some of us have our cameras on, some of us have our cameras off, some of us are sitting in the background, some of us are chatting. It's really quite relaxed. We're really just starting to get to know each other in this setting. And we're joined by someone who seems a little bit shy, maybe has a little bit of anxiety in the beginning, as quite a lot of us do. And it comes out that she mentioned that it's a little bit hard to engage when we can't see the faces of everyone, because it feels a bit like a phone call if you can't actually see people's lips moving, and it just feels a little bit different. And what happened was that instinctively, instantly, without even being asked, two of the group members switched their cameras on and said, "Oh, is this better? How about now? You can see my face now. Is this easier for you?" And that was a really heartwarming moment because we didn't have to do that. It was an explicit rule of the group that you can join in whichever way you feel comfortable. So if you want to leave your camera on or off, or stay on mute and just listen, that's all completely fine. But at the same time, we sensed that we could do something to help another member of the group feel more comfortable. And so what happened? It was instantaneously, of course we would like to do that. How about this? Do you feel more comfortable now? I can see your anxiety or your struggle to be here, and I want to help. I want to help you to feel connected and feel included and feel comfortable in this space. So I think a lot of the reason that we do that spontaneously, and I see that a lot in the online social groups and other community events that I've been a part of over the years. I think it's one reason is because we've been there and we can see it, and we're actually, a lot of us are really sensitive to what that feels like ourselves. I'm sensitive to the rejection or the challenge of trying to fit in or trying to engage and just not really being able to feel comfortable in a space. So when I see that for someone else, it's a very natural thing for me to do to reach out and try and make it better for them. So I guess this was just one example, like a really practical example of the kind of kindness and acceptance and inclusion that we often find when autistic people come together for even just for purely social reasons. Another example that comes to mind, I don't know if all of you know this, but Hannah Gatsby is an autistic comedian from Tasmania in Australia. Fantastic. You should check out her work if you haven't already. And she's an ambassador for the Yellow Ladybugs, which is an organization, again, in Australia for women and girls on the spectrum. And she shared in an interview once that, yes, she's an ambassador for Yellow Ladybugs. She believes in what they do. It's all fantastic. But she actually doesn't like the color yellow. She doesn't like how it makes her feel. So what they did instead is they gave her a blue Yellow Ladybugs t-shirt, because she would never wear a yellow one because she doesn't like the color yellow. And she was sharing in this interview how it's such a simple solution. Like, why would we get hung up on things when I can make you feel more comfortable by doing something really tiny that is going to make a huge difference to you and how you feel about this situation? So anyway, I thought I'd share that story. That was a really key example, I think, of the kind of thing that I'm trying to talk about. And I guess we have to mention that the flip side of this is that we don't always get along online, unfortunately. And I think it's worth mentioning that there are some pretty good reasons why it can also be quite difficult to come together as a group, especially as an online group of autistic people, like in social media groups and things like that. And a couple of the reasons that those types of groups are challenging is because a lot of us are oblivious to certain ways that we make other people feel by accident. A lot of us are really blunt and really direct and say things straight away in a very blunt, harsh fashion that is not necessarily taken well by other people. And when you couple that with the fact that, again, a lot of us are quite sensitive to rejection, sensitive to, am I being treated nicely? Am I being treated fairly in this situation? Do I feel comfortable in this situation? Am I included in this situation? Is this person being nice to me? Then that is a recipe for feeling as though someone is being rude to me, and I'm going to feel like I'm attacked sometimes. Because when you put blunt and oblivious and sensitive to rejection together, it comes across as being rude and inappropriate. Whereas actually, what's behind it all is we're trying to connect in the best way that we can. So it's inevitable that there are sometimes, even often, going to be clashes of personality, and it might be a little bit messy, and I might feel like this person isn't necessarily treating me as I would like to be treated. But a lot of that is due to my own sensitivity for the kind of things that I've been talking about here, because I really want the connection, because I want to be included, because I want to be a part of the group and engage and all of that. When even something quite small comes up that seems to threaten that, maybe someone speaks to me a little bit harshly, maybe I get told off, maybe I accidentally break a rule and I get a really harsh message. I'm like, what's going on? These kind of things can have a big impact precisely because we are seeking the kind of example that I shared at the start of the video. So I guess the point of this whole thing is that we can come together and we can be kind to each other, and that is what happens a lot of the time when we actually meet each other and we have the ability to reach out and connect in that way. So this is one of the reasons that my advice, so many people say something like, I'm autistic, I've just found out, I don't know what to do, this is the very start of my journey, and my very first piece of advice is go out and meet other people like you. Go out and find an autism social group or support group or online group. There's quite a lot of groups online at the moment. There's the meetup group attached to the Asperger's from the Inside Facebook page. There's autistic.com, which is also great. The Autism Explained community has some social events that I'm hoping to run even more of next year as well. And ultimately, it's all about creating the right environment where we know what we're here for. We're here to connect with each other because I can understand you and because I know what it's like to struggle to connect with people. So I'm therefore going to go out of my way because it's nice, and I want to see you comfortable in this space just like I am. So I might leave it there. Hopefully I've shared some of the positives and also been realistic about the interacting socially with the autistic community. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave us a comment sharing your own experience, especially if you've had a really positive experience of connection. I'd love to hear that. And otherwise, I will see you again next week. Bye.